Okay, fourth and fifth grade. The next step for our portrait project inspired by Kehinde Wiley is deciding what pattern or background we want. And a pattern is something that repeats, a line that repeats, a color that repeats, or a shape that repeats. So at the beginning when we were looking at Kehinde Wiley's work, remember how there were very fancy decorated backgrounds behind the people that he painted. So that's what we are going to plan out today. And to plan that, we are making something called a thumbnail sketch. And a thumbnail sketch is a very quick sketch of what an artist plans to do before they move on to the next steps, then the final steps of their artwork. So this is what a thumbnail sketch should look like. You basically want loosely quick drawn squares. I'm going to do 6 of them. And with a thumbnail sketch, because they are quick, we don't have to worry about them being finished or perfect. It's a way for us to get our ideas down. So there are different ways we could do patterns. I will have these papers available at each table for different ideas. I will also post some pictures from Google Images, and these 2 samples will be up there as well. And probably I will also have a couple printouts of Kehinde Wiley's work to have in your folders for you to use to make your work. So I have 6 boxes, and why don't I use this to help me? So I know I can make a patterns that repeat using lines, shapes, or flower or nature. So why don't I try a couple of lines? Maybe one pattern will have a bumpy type line. And maybe I might want to try something that looks more fancy. So I'll make these swirls. And maybe I can make this swirl have a bit of a tail and repeat that pattern. And maybe I'll try one like a checkerboard. So that's lines going down and across. And with a checkerboard, every other square has the color, and you'll see I'm doing this quick because this is a thumbnail sketch. This is a way for us to get our ideas down, and it does not have to look pretty or finished. And maybe I'll do some leaves. I really like these leaves. Let me try leaves another way. So I'll draw these 2 stems, and I'll have leaves coming out of these stems. And I can put a little bit more. Finally, maybe I'll try some flowers. All right, so I have 6 thumbnail sketches. I'm going to circle the ones that I like. For example, I like this one and this one. But what do you do if you like 2 different patterns? Well, one thing I would do is combine both my ideas for a pattern. So I'm gonna turn to the next page. And I'm gonna draw it bigger, and that way I could plan out the details a little bit more. I could draw a little bit neater, and I could also use that to plan out my colors. there. So I drew out my pattern, and maybe I could plan out my colors. One thing that always looks nice is outlining in any color, especially black, neatly. And once again, you don't have to have your colors all nice and perfect. Just get some ideas from your brain onto a paper. So you'll notice I didn't color that neatly, but it's okay, it's a sketch. It's really important for us to get the ideas from our brain down onto paper, and it makes the task that we have to do for our projects more manageable. I know sometimes you guys ask, why do we have to draw this again? It's because it helps us plan, it helps our work become better in a way that makes sense to us, that's most satisfying to us. So just to go over the steps again, you have to do at least a few thumbnail sketches. I did 6. Try different varieties, use these to help you. Then pick the one you like best and add more details to it, and then add some color. I also did another one in my personal sketchbook. I did a pattern here after I decided that I liked the patterns that I drew here. So I started like this and I went to this.